All right, we are going to go ahead and get started just to respect everybody's time. We may get a few more people that are logging in as we go ahead, but we want to welcome you guys to this live demo of Copilot and Business Central and them working together. So we're so glad that you're here. We've had a great turnout for this webinar today, and so we're excited that you're on our webinar. So let me introduce myself. I am David, and I am the Director of Business Development here at Trendsoft. We're also joined by Bobby Haggard, who is on our sales team. And then Callie Wagner is supporting us on our marketing team. And so there's a few of us here helping us run our webinar and live demo today. Just want to introduce ourselves. All right, so very briefly, we work for a company called Trendsoft. We specialize in ERP software and Microsoft's Business Central. We also support some of their legacy products as well, but most of our work these days is in Business Central, and we have a team of developers. We pride ourselves on customizing and making very custom products built around Microsoft's Business Central. And we love working with Microsoft because they have a lot of strength behind them as a larger company, and so it's our daily work is work with Microsoft Business Central here at Trendsoft. All right, so we're going to have a quick AI little review here, and I chose to use a few people as part of a timeline here. So Alan Turing, if you ever study computer science, you would have learned about him. He's one of the first people that talked about artificial intelligence, kind of coined the phrase back in the 50s, and he did the Turing test that you could, try to decipher if it was a computer talking or a human talking, that kind of thing. We'll fast forward to a chess champion who got beat by one of IBM's supercomputers using artificial intelligence. That was a big deal. I don't know if you were around in 97 to hear that news, but a computer beat, an AI computer beat the world chess champion. That was a big deal and kind of put AI on the map there. And then a little closer to our modern day, 2015, you probably heard of OpenAI and Sam Altman. And then Mustafa Suleyman also is now the head at Microsoft of all the Copilot product. So, and more recently, and he has a long history working in artificial intelligence as well. But I chose a few people along the way to kind of highlight what artificial intelligence has looked like. And actually, this is a map of Google searches from 2004 to today. And then we're looking at the term AI. And so you can see not a lot there before the last couple of years. All right. And I did the same search for Copilot, and it's pretty steady, pretty low. There was a little news event down here, I think in the 2015 or something, but a lot of popularity. Everybody's talking about Copilot and about artificial intelligence and that sort of thing. So, and Microsoft, of course, is leading the way with this, and Copilot, of course, is their big product, and it's integrated into all the different platforms now. Today, we're just talking about Business Central, but it's integrated into the Microsoft 365, all the different products, and in the Dynamics 365 space as well. But today, we're talking about Business Central. But so we've got Microsoft and then Business Central, which many of you guys, I'm looking at the names of some of our attendees. Many of you guys know it already, and that's great. You know what Business Central does. If you don't, it's an ERP built for small, medium business, and medium-sized businesses are pretty large these days. And so, it handles your financial and all your business processes. So this is not a Business Central live demo today, but we're going to be in Business Central, but it's more about Copilot. But just wanted to remind you about what that is and what it does. So we're talking about the marriage of these two things, which is a fairly recent development in the Business Central world. And I'm going to summarize these three things. We're going to do our demo here in just a minute. But basically right now, the main use cases for Copilot in Business Central: guide, create, and analyze. Those are the three things that we're going to look at. And these things are improving all the time. They're getting better and better all the time. But those are the three main things that we're going to look at today: guide, create, and analyze. And just a reminder, it's in preview mode still. You're going to see a little the word pre on there that reminds you that it's in preview mode. Features have been being rolled out over many months now. And even in the next few months, a lot of those things are going to be out of preview mode. But just to remind you, there's a few things that are still in preview mode. All right. And we are going to jump into our demo. All right. Okay, so actually, before we do the demo, I am going to run a quick poll because we love hearing from you guys, and I don't like to just talk to an empty screen and camera. I like to um, hear a little bit from you guys. So I am going to run a quick poll, and there are 4 questions on there. Um, Let me go back and launch that one. All right, so you should see a poll on your screen. Just take a minute and answer these 4 questions. It's just about your comfortability with your comfort with AI, and then at work and some of the tools that you might have used in the past. So take a minute and fill out that poll. Thank you. I'm going to give you another few seconds there, 20, 30 seconds to finish up the poll, and then we'll look at our results. All right, so I'm going to click end poll and share results. And you should see results on your screen, but I like that. We got some excited people. I'm excited. I know Bobby's excited and Callie is excited. So, it's fun to see that my emojis actually went through there. So lots of excited people, a few a few kind of, or at least one of those. People are using AI. It sounds like a few times a week, and then a lot of people not using it yet. And that's why you're here. So that's great. We appreciate that. Um, and let's see, number 3, a lot of people using ChatGPT, some people using Copilot, which of course Copilot is using the ChatGPT engine behind it as well. So a few using Grammarly or Copy AI those are designed to create new content, especially designed for that. And then people want to use it for data analysis. That's a biggie. Personal efficiency, I'm using it that way too. So, all right, that's great. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I think that helps a lot. It helps us know kind of where you guys are. So I'm going to stop sharing that poll now. And I will just remind you, there is a Q&A feature on your screen on Zoom. So please feel free to use the Q&A, and you can ask a question right there, and then Bobby will help me monitor those, and we can look at those questions and help answer them later. You can also, if you want a recording of this, you can also put your email address in there, and we'll make sure you get a copy of that as well. But if you have questions during our session today, near the end, we're going to take a few of those. So, all right, let's jump in. Okay, so I said before that there's a few things that Copilot can do. We were just talking about ChatGPT as well, but that Copilot can do. And so we're going to use an example here of what it can do just to guide you. All right. And so I can ask a few different questions here. How do I create a sales invoice? All right. So I'm here in Business Central, and this is all our own just sample data. So if you see your name or anything, that's just a coincidence. All right. But I'm going to ask a question. And previously in search, I could have asked this question. It might have led me to a white paper or a different website, but now Copilot just hops in and answers the question right there for me, right? It gives me the steps and tells me how to do that. All right. So that's an example of guiding as well. Um, let's look for something else here. I'm going to ask it to show me overdue sales invoices. All right. So I'm not just asking a question about how to do something. Now I really want Copilot to go in and look at my data and answer a question for me. And by the way, it does use my own credentials. So whatever data I have access to as the user I'm logged into, that allows me to use that. Copilot has the rights to what I have the rights to, basically. So it's going to go through there and look for this data and find some information for me. All right. All right. So it's given me a few results. There's quite a bit of data for it to look through there. And it's giving me a few results. It also gave me a link to the posted sales invoices page. And I can click directly on any of these right here and just bring up that page. All right, so it should bring up this page on direct access to that sales invoice. All right. So that is that's the second thing in our guide sort of area, and in this main Copilot screen. So I'm just here on the home screen in Business Central, and I open this up by clicking this Copilot button up here. All right. And so I'm going to ask it one more question. I'm just looking at chairs in stock. All right. How many chairs do we have in stock? All right. And while that's checking, I'm just want to emphasize that it's a natural language process here. So this is one of the things that the more you use Copilot, you get used to using natural language. Many of us almost, you don't have to unlearn, but many of us have to almost unlearn, figuring out little menus and where things are and clicking, and you can just use natural language. It's one of the great things about Copilot, one of the things that our team loves about using Copilot too. So I got some suggestions. It's telling me different chairs that I have in stock. I can also go to the items page. It's giving me the items page to show me all of the different items that I have in stock. In this case, I like this. I like this yellow one. I'm going to click on the Berlin chair. All their furniture has city names. It's kind of fun in the sample data. So, all right. So I'm going to click that Berlin chair. That's going to bring up the item card. All right. So I'm in Business Central, and if you're familiar with it, this is a standard screen for an item. And actually, I'm going to use this screen to jump into the next piece, and that is the creative side of Copilot in Business Central. So we use it already to look up some things and kind of guide us. Now we're going to talk about how it can create things for you as well. So I'm on this screen, and I think one of the best examples is this marketing text. So marketing text on an item can be used. It can be used in client communication. It can be used on a sales invoice, or it's a description of an item. If you happen to use the online portal, something you can actually use that, like with Shopify. But so I'm going to have it create the marketing text for me, and I'm just going to go straight to draft with Copilot. And as I click that, it's going to read this item, do its own internal research, and Copilot will do its own research and look at the item and then give me a summary. All right. So I just want to give you a quick tour of this. Basically, it's looked at the item, and it has the summary at the top, kind of a tagline, and then a little paragraph about the item itself. Now, the cool thing about this is it will actually allow me to change the tone. So I can have it be a little more formal. I can make it a little more upbeat. I'm going to see some exclamation marks in there probably, and a little more excited. I can actually change the format. So if I literally just want a tagline, I can choose tagline and regenerate, and I just get the one line. But I'll go back to tagline and paragraph. I kind of like that option. There are a few more there. Paragraph is just the paragraph, and brief is kind of like a summary, a bulleted list sort of thing is usually what it comes up with. All right. And then I can actually even change the emphasis. So if I want to talk about it being an elegant chair, and that's the emphasis I want on the description, I can actually change that as well. All right. And it'll regenerate, and it'll bring in something about the word elegance or something like that. There we go. Discover the timeless elegance of the Berlin chair. So yeah. And then at that point, I can choose keep it. I can cancel, and if I choose keep it, it's going to insert that into the marketing text for this item. So I personally love that. I think it's Copilot's ability to generate this creative text is really powerful, and I love the fact that it analyzes data, but I also love the fact that you can use it for something creative like that as well. All right. So we're halfway through our demo, guys. We got a few more things. I think three more pieces that I want to show you, and we'll take a few questions. All right. So I am going to go back to our home screen, and let's look at sales quotes. All right. And so normally in a sales quote, I can go into each of these items and start to add numbers and descriptions and quantities and that kind of thing. But I can actually use natural language here on the sales quote page as well. All right. So if I want to go in there and have it suggest sales lines, hang on one second. I'm going to go into my existing sales quotes so I don't have to enter the rest of the things at the top here. All right. So I'm going to go into existing sales quote just so I don't have to add the customer name and everything at the top. Let's go in and suggest sales lines. And I think I'm going to have it add chairs. I like that Berlin chair. Add 2 Berlin chairs and 4 desks. Okay. And one of the things I like about this is if somebody is not familiar, like a new employee or something, they're not familiar with the menu systems and that kind of thing, and they're used to using more natural language like this, then they can just go in and say, add this, and there they are. So there they are. There's the 2 items I asked for and the quantities there, and I can discard if that's incorrect, or I can just insert it. So as soon as I click insert, it's going to look up those items and add them in to the inventory. Into the sales quote. All right, so those are 2 creative things. The description of the item itself that we looked at with the text earlier, and then this way to just say naturally, please add these things in there. So I really like that. They're very natural. All right, so the last 2 things I want to show you are the analyzed, and I won't say I saved the best for last, but I kind of saved the best for last because I think they're really powerful. And very cool. So I'm going to close this Copilot window over here. I can just reopen that anytime I need it. But just to get us back to our main screen here, we're going to look at purchase invoices. And so I have a sort of a regular old list here of purchase invoices, and I could do some sorting, or I could download this into Excel or something like that. But actually, I'm going to use Copilot at this time, and I'm going to have it I'm going to use natural language to tell it what I want it to do. So let's say summarize by vendor name. All right. And actually, before I click generate, I want to show you another piece that you'll find on all the different Copilot menus in Business Central, this prompt guide. Okay. So take a minute. If you've zoned out for a minute, have a look at this and pay close attention, because if you're new to using Copilot, and I saw that some of you were on our poll, this is super helpful. So if you're not sure what types of things you can ask Copilot to do, you could actually use the prompt guide that they've built into Copilot that's contextual on each of these pages, and it will tell me what I can do. So it'll say, okay, I can group by salesperson. I can ask it to do that. I can sort and filter. I can say filter by anything higher than a certain amount, that kind of thing. So it's giving me suggestions about how to use that. All right. So just so you know, that prompt guide is very, very helpful, and it's built in. I am trying to keep our demo brief today, and I'm not going to go through all those different options, but I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so do use that extra guide in there. Okay, so there we go. It did that for me. So I just asked it to summarize by vendor name, and now each of these vendors I can are in a collapsible section now, so I can go in there and I can look at those purchase invoices and the amounts on those pages. All right. Okay, so this little screen down here also allows me to refine the search at an even greater detail. So I can actually ask it, over, $100. All right. Well, I can ask it to do the same thing, and I'm actually giving it a little bit more information, and I'm asking it to do that. All right, so now I've got the same information. Now these should all be over $100. Okay, there were a few that were below that amount, and they're gone now. So I'm just using that natural language, and I can continue to use this on the bottom and just refine that even more when I do this Copilot analysis. All right, so I can choose to keep it if I want, and it'll stay up here as a new analysis for me. And I'll just go ahead and keep it. I can also discard, and it's just gone if I just needed it for just a minute. All right. Okay, Copilot fans, we're on the last one here. I'm going to show you sales orders. Let's go to the sales orders page. All right. And this is the normal, we're in analysis modes here, so I'll just switch us right back to, this is kind of the normal screen that you're probably used to seeing. And I'm going to use Copilot again to let me use my own natural language to go in and ask for the data that I want to see. All right. So if I click Copilot and then say analyze, okay. I think I've copied this because it's kind of, I kind of have a longer thing that I want it to do here. Yeah. So show me all the open orders from Adatum Corporation. Okay. And I could put a lot in here. I could still say, you know, that are over $100 or something like that. I can add quite a bit. And again, I've got the prompt guide down here. I can go in and get some suggestions about things I'd like it to do. But I'm just going to say generate. And Copilot's going to take a minute, look through that data, and very, very quickly filter that out and give me those amounts. So there they are. All right. And I could, as I said, I could go back and do what I did before and continue to refine, but I won't use that. I won't go through that again. I think you've already seen it, but this is one of the things I absolutely love about Copilot and Business Central, because I want to just naturally say, show me this, do that, and not, it takes your learning curve, it shortens that learning curve because you don't actually have to learn how to go in and do some of the filters and grabbing and moving data around. You can just naturally say, I just want to see this. All right, so I think that's fantastic. Okay. All right, so believe it or not, we've gone through 7 quick little mini demos here in Business Central, and I do want to show you one more thing over here on the Copilot on the side here. When I want to reset this, I can just click this button and reset the whole Copilot on the side. All right. So if I just want to get rid of the things that I've already asked, I can go ahead and do that as well. And I also have that same prompt here. So it can give me suggestions about where I can, you know, the things I can look for and all that sort of thing. And I will tell you that the data that it's looking at is your Business Central data. And so if you're used to using Copilot, you cannot go into this Copilot menu and ask how to, you know, do a great pickleball serve, or how to rebuild the engine on your Camaro. You know, those questions are not answered here at all. This is only in the context of Business Central. So if you want to use a regular Copilot, you've got to go to Copilot itself and the bigger Copilot that's part of Windows and figure that out and use it that way. So just keep in mind, this is for Business Central. So Bobby, I'm gonna see if there are any questions. I'm going back to our Q&A here. So let's take a few questions here.
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening, if you do have a question, absolutely drop that into the Q&A. We'll either look to have David answer that now, or we may follow up with you after the webinar. David, I know one question that, as I talk to different clients about Copilot and using it within BC, they often ask if there is an additional license or an additional cost to needing Copilot or what you showed us today. Can you talk to that?
Yeah, that's an easy one. There's no additional license for Copilot in Business Central. If you own a Business Central license, it's built in. So on some products that Microsoft has, it's like an add-on Copilot for certain things like Office, that sort of thing. But with Business Central, it's just right there. It's just right there at the same time. And I do see a question pop up here. Somebody asked, does Copilot work on each screen, or is it global? And so the global version is what you're seeing on the right-hand side right now. So this is global across your Business Central instance or this company. And then the other screens that I demoed, those are in context on each screen. So if there's a screen, if there's a Copilot button on a screen, it'll show you that. You'll see it there. Yeah.
Yep. Great question. I know another question, David, that a lot of people ask, and that when we talk to clients is about security. Can you talk a little bit about how secure Copilot is, or how it keeps your data secure, and what that looks like?
Actually, yes. Hang on. And I had a slide that I'm going to bring back up here. Give me just a second to show you that slide. Straight from Microsoft. This is most people ask about the data itself, which is why I had this slide ready to show you guys too. Um, your data is not available to other customers. It's not used to train other AI tools, third party stuff. And Microsoft does not use it themselves to train their AI models. And that basically your data is at the same safety level, which is very, very high security level as it is for all of the Microsoft products that you're using. So there's nothing special about AI. There's a lot of talk about, where's my data going? What if I upload this? Who will have access and that kind of thing. But Microsoft recognizes that, and they would not be able to have Copilot as a product whatsoever if there was any security issues with it. So, and they've been very involved for many, many years, even from the forefront of conversations about how AI can be used and the power of AI and using it responsibly. So they're old school AI, if that makes sense. I've been using it for a long time. So I just grabbed these three pieces right from Microsoft just to remind us about how it's used. Yeah. So they don't use your data for anything else.
Perfect. And just a reminder for anyone on, drop your email into the Q&A if you're interested in the presentation slides or the recording. Once that becomes available, we'll be sure and get that sent out to you. So just wanted to remind everyone of that. David, I don't see
Yeah.
any more questions. At least none are coming
Okay.
in. So
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
job.
That's
Thank
fine.
you.
Yeah. So we're almost at our time here today. I just want to give you my contact information and just remind you real briefly about what TrendSoft does. I mean, we pretty much eat, sleep, and breathe Business Central, and we have a fantastic team of developers that are using Business Central and Copilot all the time. And so we love it, and we love the product, and we love developing for it and creating solutions for people. So, and many of you guys know that because I recognize some of our names. But if you're new to TrendSoft, then please give us a call, see if we can help you. I've got my email here on the screen, which you could take a picture of, or I'll just send it to you, or we can be in touch about that. But um, it's really any sort of use of AI and Copilot is really about your company, your business being creative and innovative. And these are the things that are going to set your business apart using tools like this. So they're going to make you more efficient, yes, but you want to be able to join that conversation and not feel like, well, everybody's talking about Copilot. What does it do? I'm not really sure. And could it really help me? And hopefully you've learned a little something today about how Copilot can help you, especially in Business Central. So thank you guys so much for joining. We've been really, really happy to have so many of you guys here and joining us on our live demo. And please let us know if there's something we can help with here at TrendSoft. We're happy to help you. And thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it.